Hello, Miss Adventure here. Excited to walk you through every page of my Ripe Critical Knowledge Building Guide so you don't miss a darn thing. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this table of contents is clickable, so that's an easy way to get where you need to go. And I've also featured the three main things in this PDF that you might want to print or get to quickly. Everything else is pretty much just setup, tips and tricks, things like that. These are the three big ticket items, and of course this video that you're watching now. Okay, so here we've got a little intro to the elements, telling you a little bit about what the system is, what we're doing here, all the elements, really check it out. Okay, and then we have an introduction to critical philosophy where you can sign up for the Adventure Journal, which is my newsletter, so you can learn more about what it means to be a critical educator. I'd also suggest that you follow me on all your favorite sites because I talk about that a lot. But also, other than this pretty cool intro to what it means to be critical, I have a freebie for you. So this critical learning poster or critical thinking, which is the version I have, they're both in the freebie, so you can choose which one you'd rather use. You can grab that right here. So this is for you to harness the power of critical in your classroom. I think you're really going to vibe with the critical style. I see you, you're critical. So I've got this freebie for you here that you won't want to miss. I also have featured a blog post from my blog. I have also turned these blog posts into videos so you can watch them in that form, but a lot to say about what it means to be a critical pedagogue or educator. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So check it out, sign up for my newsletter. We got cool stuff going on in this critical philosophical place. All right, awesome. Speaking of a critical philosophical place, this is the Critical Classroom Project. This is part of it. And I do other things that have the same vibe as my Ripe Critical Knowledge Building System. And that has to do with my Learning League adventures. So there are all sorts of things that go with that, including upcoming projects for critical sight deconstruction and critical speech deconstruction, learning to see what's important, learning to speak to what's important. These are two elements of, and not just important, but all the things in what it means to be critical. Important is the essential piece, but there are lots of pieces to what we need to be able to spot with our eyes and speak with our mouths. So that's something that I think education is currently not doing enough of. So that's why I've created this project to do these things. So that's what these adventures are for. Then down here, I'm also doing more structural resources like the Ripe Critical Knowledge Building System, which will be a backbone for making critical discussion in your class. These are other ways to become more critical with my classroom curriculum, which I'm working on, a classroom critique system so your students can engage and practice critical speech in the form of critiquing you, learning how to critique constructively, and that way you can adjust your practice as an educator to best fit your students, right? So it's a great system for your classroom that's coming soon. So follow me again, sign up for my newsletter. You're not going to want to miss it. And then the Transcendent Teaching Curriculum. So this is more for developing classroom culture, and this is more for shifting the way you educate and engage in teaching practices. Awesome. So then we've got some critical community that I want to introduce you to. Of course, the knowledge gardens are a big part of the Ripe Critical Knowledge Building System, which we'll be going over more in a little bit, but you can read a little bit about it and enter your first one if you'd like. The Classroom Caucuses is another critical initiative that I'm starting to connect classrooms across the nation and mobilize them for actions that they care about. So what do your students care about? Maybe they can engage in civic responsibilities with other classrooms across the nation. This is just a budding project, but I'm looking for interested parties. So join the Classroom Caucus. I've got some ideas for things people might be interested in, but there are others. What civic duties do your students want to take up? I think this is a cool space to start stretching those muscles to be a good citizen. Practice those skills now. And then the Teacher Trust, which is my Patreon group. If you pay $15 a month, not only would you have gotten access to the Ripe Critical Knowledge Building System, but also all my Learning League adventures for the month for $15. So that's what this is talking about. What? You don't want to miss it. Plus, you'll get access to my critical lesson sessions, critical lesson planning. There you go. Critical lesson planning sessions every Sunday for as low as $1.50 a month. You can see how I implement these critical learning standards, not standards, touchstones. They don't standardize, they liberate. They're not standards. These learning touchstones, how you can bring them into your room in practical ways. That's what Sunday afternoons are for $1.50 a month. Come on. But also Teacher Trust. It's got some good stuff in there. Okay. Then this is an introduction to the Ripe Critical Learning Cycle. I have videos you can click to learn more about what the philosophy is behind that, but it's a good little summary. Okay, and then Touchstones, the anti-standards, the opposite of standards. This is introducing you to how they work, how to implement them in your classroom, why the system goes through RIPE. And then at the bottom, I've got something you can click. This is also part of Patreon membership. There are things you can get as low as $1.50 a month. What? This is good stuff. So this is a critical approach to knowledge that the lesson Touchstones are embodying and helping you bring to your classroom. This knowledge may shape your life. Your life may shape this knowledge. Oh, come on. Come on, let's join Patreon and get these not for free, for $1.50, but I mean, come on. Isn't this a humanizing approach to education? I love it. So critical. Okay, so enough about that. Had to show that off. I know y'all are going to be interested. I know you. I see you over there. Okay. Then we have an introduction to knowledge gardens. So this is explaining what knowledge gardens are, how to bring them into your classroom, what they're all about. Page 11 is your page. Okay, then we have a learning touchstone map. These are the 13 level 1 touchstones, which are the greatest themes, the critical themes. If you really want to understand what the Ripe Knowledge Building System is all about, we've got these 13 themes here. And they are explored, of course, in my inventory, which you could click if you wanted to get there, but that's further down. So we'll get there in a minute. Okay, and then the anatomy of touchstones. So there are levels to the touchstones that is useful to understand because there's so many, over 425, depending on your subject. But it's important to understand how they work and how they interact with one another. And as far as management goes, you're going to want to know which to print because you might not want to print them all. So this is a nice breakdown of all the details you might need to know about the touchstones. Plus here I have the teaching touchstones. So all these that you see are for students. They're for student eyes, right? But in order to teach them, you need a different perspective of what are you engaging in so that they can gain this message, right? What are the verbs that you have to think about and you have to consider to make sure this lesson, this message is passed on to your students, right? So the teaching touchstones kind of take the learning touchstones and look at them through a different lens. So you're not going to want to miss those. That will definitely help you bring these to your classroom, especially if you're having trouble, like, how do I really get this across? You're going to want to look at the teaching touchstones. So those are available on page 13. Okay, then how are you going to set these up? There are so many things that you're going to want to know as you're setting up. How do you want to present it? Do you want to do popsicle sticks? All these different things about how do you want to use your space in critical ways. Okay. I think these pages might be my favorite. Page 15 and 16 are about a quick rundown. What does it mean to be a critical educator? So this will really help you understand where you're working from, the foundation, the history, the tradition that you're standing on for knowledge building and curriculum building. So again, knowledge building is the process you're engaging in with students, but that's going to require you to do some background work, right? That's what the teaching touchstones are kind of offering, that different perspective. That's what curriculum building is about. So in order to cultivate a classroom culture that is about knowledge building, you're going to have to engage in curriculum building and really getting your hands critically into what you're doing. So this page is super cool. It gives you 4 steps to sitting with the touchstones, figuring out how to really bring them into your classroom, because this work takes intention and it takes time. And it's going to be really helpful to have these 2 guides. So 15 and 16, those are my favorite pages. Check them out. All right. Then we have a nice anatomy of a knowledge garden. So even though there are videos in the knowledge gardens, once you get there, it's also nice to have it all broken down right here. Broken down, break it down, bracketed down. You get it, broketed. It's all break down over here. So this is a good page for that, getting to know the knowledge gardens. Printing guide. Okay, I really wanted to make sure you knew what was essential. Here's what you're not going to want to miss. Here's some extra stuff that you could do also, and some different tips about when to use color ink, when you can not use it, you know, things like that. So some good printing tips. Then preparing. So this work requires both physical prep. It does take printing, cutting, laminating if you so wish, organizing, things like that. But it also takes mental prep. So I have 2 live videos that you can watch every weekday. That's what I'm doing, is helping you discover tips and tricks for bringing these into your classroom, because I know it's a big project. Boy, there's so much to look at. I want to help you make the most out of it and not feel overwhelmed. So there's going to be plenty of content for you to take it at your own pace, however you want. There's plenty to look through when you've got the time. And plus, I'm kind of fun, so you won't want to miss these videos, okay? Then we have the Colors of Critical, which is more for adult audiences, not just teachers, but everybody who wants to be a critical thinker. So also, once you start stretching these critical educator muscles, you might be like, oh, snap, is this what critical thinking is? Yes, this is what critical thinking is. We just say that word kind of emptily. I won't go on a rant, but we do just like throw that out, like use your critical thinking skills. But like, what does that mean? I'm here to help you out. So the Colors of Critical, check it out. Okay, then organizing. So here I have some great tips on Velcro, y'all. Velcro can be a sticky, spirally mess. I bought a whole roll and it like got all tangly and stuff. So I want to help you out. I have a little guide for that. So if you want to set up the touchstone of the week or day cycle, you can do that easily with this guide and other tricks to helping you understand how to organize this as best as possible. Lots of different methods you can use in your classroom. Okay, then we have the actual pieces. Yay! To the touchstone of the week or day. So we have this Mainframe, which this size is for level 1s here, or I'm sorry, level 1s here and level 2s fit here. Level 3s and 4s are really great to have on a book ring like this. You can see that this is level 3 because it has a red star, and then the ones under it have black stars. So these are really great. They're too skinny to fit perfectly into this space right there. They're a little too skinny for that. You could still make it work, certainly, and just have a little hanging down. You could definitely do that if you wanted to. But this is the system I have in mind. I'm open to critique. But here are those Mainframes. You don't need to have, if you want to keep that blank. I like the little dudes and dudettes. Dudes are girls too. Okay, and then frame addition. So if you want to add on, make it longer, how low can you go? You know what I'm saying? All right, so you can decide touchstone of the day or week or touchstones of the day or week. Up to you. How do you want to do it? Okay, yay, this is one of my favorites. Do y'all notice the fun little, it's not wordplay. It's like, image play. I don't know. I'm not a designer. I love wordplay, and this feels like a visual wordplay joke because it's like the apple seeds, but it's a pause button. Ah, it's so fun. So it's a pause, but apple seeds. Ah, okay. Y'all got it. I get it. I'm proud of that. That might be the best design thing I've ever done. Take a critical pause, 3 different sizes for you. It's exciting. Give them to your friends. You got 3 sizes when you print. I like the little one. It's so cute. Yeah, give it to your teacher friends. Tell them to take a critical pause. All right, then we have the awesome labels using for buckets or organization, whatever you want. I have them on my popsicle stick buckets, wherever those are. Okay, then, critical lesson planning. So we've got some sheets for you. I've got some other tips. Remember, there were more tips on page 16 with the curriculum building guide. But here are some more teaching tips for sitting with those touchstones, because I know it's a big job. There are lots of them. How do you start? I got lots of tips to help you out and not feel overwhelmed. So again, I promote that I, for $1.50 a month, am doing really cool planning videos to help you out. I'll stop with that lovely harmony. Okay, so we've got a critical planning organizer, must, may. So go through those touchstones, jot them down. What's a must? What's a may? Do some organizing here with your thoughts. And then this journal, which I'm going to be filling out every week with a different touchstone that I will share with the public, but you're not going to get to know all my secret plans, but you'll get to see my journaling of intentions beforehand, some really cool prompts and things to consider as you're working through your lesson planning. Then we have the touchstone inventory. So this is the list of all the touchstones in your guide. And again, we have the teaching touchstones down here. So those are in 2 places. I believe it was on page 11 and on this page. So multiple places where you can access the teaching touchstones. These are Google Docs. So you can just click and have access to those Google Docs and you can print them from there. And here's an example of the teaching touchstones in comparison to the learning touchstones. And then we have the inventory. So this is a great thing to print and have it on hand. It also has a QR code so you can easily access the teaching touchstones, even from a printed place. But here they all are. Here are all the touchstones that you are going to come across. Here they are. And that, my friend, other than my commitment to you and the credits and all the fun stuff at the end, that is it. So if you want to know where the other items, because this doesn't have any of the printable touchstones, this doesn't have the Knowledge Garden access sheets, this doesn't have the popsicle slips, those are all in your zip map. So go back to the folder where you downloaded originally this product, and you'll find a walkthrough video that'll guide you to all those other things. So not only are those elements of the RIPE Critical Knowledge Building System in that folder that you downloaded, but also I have linked my website to where you can re-download them again. So if you have lost that folder and you don't have access to it anymore or whatever, you can access all of the things that are in, like the RIPE posters. Those are not in this PDF. Those things you can click to access on my website. So don't worry if you lost the original document. Everything you need is in the PDF. Find a picture of what you need. It's in there somewhere, probably on these first early pages. Look through here and you'll find everything you need. So thanks so much for adventuring along with me. I can't wait to see what we do and grow with our students and their wonderful minds in our classrooms with this system. I'm so excited to see where this journey takes us. All right. Thanks so much for purchasing this product. Please review it, critique me. That's a huge part of my work. So thank you so much. And remember, adventure awaits.